Hey, what's up? Check it out. It's your boy DJ L7. Now today, we're meeting some local New York City activists. Hell yeah. Maybe even national. We're gonna see what's going on here. But definitely happy to meet people in my neighborhood to make things happen. This is really, we need to start going analog because we can't really, the digital space is being controlled. The news is not really reporting on a lot of things out here. So happy to find out the real stuff about what's going on right here. So I'm gonna let these two ladies introduce themselves. I'll start off with SimStar with it. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Harrison. I'm from the Bronx.
All right.
And my name is Joannie Acevedo, and I'm a community activist, and I run with two different organizations, which is Carver Houses Community Association Inc. and also 700 Dems.
Okay, cool. All right, 700 Dems. Okay, cool. I just actually got back from Albany. We just did a something for disability advocacy, so that was cool. And that's
Nice.
usually 504s, right? But yeah, but it's all good, you know. Happy to work with anybody in the field out here. So exciting to meet you. So let's talk about now the Carver Houses. That's public housing. So actually, that is actually something I am prioritizing right now. So what about SimStar? You're also in public housing advocacy work as well?
Yes, I reside in Drosnik, and I do like helping the community and advocating and letting them be informed. Of course, Miss Joannie always informs me, and I forward the information, and whatever I know, I'll let her know.
Okay.
As
So
well.
there's multiple angles of things going on in the, some of it I think is actually bullshit, you know what I mean? But some of it is real. So what part of the, public housing thing are you most like grappling with nowadays? Or what do you think is the most imminent?
Is it for me or SimStar first?
Oh, just, well, yeah, go ahead. You first.
Okay, well, right now we're trying to see if we can get the grandfather's clause into which is housing is all 600,000 units. So within the all 5 boroughs, and we're trying to get the tenants to buy their apartments, which is called the grandfather's clause. So right now we've been working diligently for the last 3 years, to get stuff up and running and trying to see if that we can possibly go to DC and handle some situations, which there was a little glitch because we have seniors that have pension and Social Security, and we have seniors just as have Social Security. So if the maintenance fee was like $700 to $800 a month, we would try to figure out how to get another entity to work on all of these things. So we've been working on that. We found some clauses that we're going to be working on. But I just spoke to one of my friends that said that the RAD program was actually implemented by HUD.
Okay.
And they tried this, the RAD program in Tennessee and different other states before it came here. And it was like a pilot program in Tennessee where they gave their tenants that lived in housing, because in Tennessee and stuff, it's not projects, it's houses. So it's not like here. So my friend lived in housing out there, and she said, oh no, Joannie, they started giving people vouchers, Section 8 vouchers, and if they want to move out, they have the Section 8 voucher, they could get another spot. Or if they wanted to come back, they would have to pay market value rent, but they'll have their Section 8 voucher, whatever. So I was like,
Yeah.
That's not.
So when they belong that here with the Blue RAD program, we already know what it was. They already have a mock project in the Bronx. And I think it's in Melbrook where my friend lives. And she goes, Joannie, they fixing the apartment. They're giving us, marble countertops. They're doing the floor. They're doing everything. Oh my God, you got, girl, bye. After you finish, you're going to have to be paying market value rent. Okay, let's be clear. Hello. So I was just bombarded with a lot of calls today because on my Facebook page, I wake up yesterday like early in the morning, and I get up and I'm taking my son to school. When I come back, I look at my Facebook page. It's like, well, Joannie, is this true that you're running for Brian's seat? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Which is Brian Benjamin's seat. And I was like,
Which seat is that? You mean for city council?
yeah.
Oh hell! Oh, you're running for city council?
No, they want me to, but
Okay.
they have a special election. So
Right.
I'm like, they're like, well, you need about 3,000 signatures. Where the hell am I gonna get 3,000 signatures from?
Carver Houses.
Even though they're my platform, I have about 2,000 people on my Facebook page, almost 2,000 people on my Facebook page. But I'm like,
Do you know about do you know Carmen Canones?
she is so full of shit
Okay. But okay, why is that?
because she wants the RAD program.
But she's also championing for people to be able to buy their own properties, as you are through the
No.
grandfather clause.
No,
No.
not after I brought it up.
Okay. She does.
See, there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's a difference when she's kissing ass.
She does go back and forth. But let's. Okay, so. But I do know that she's affiliated with Occupy NYCHA. She supposedly has 10 developments with her. She has a lot of experience, running these particular lines, which is a good thing and a bad thing. But so we need to get together and find a way to make these things happen. So that's good to know. So how can we actually, right? Because you said, how are you going to win? I was going to say maybe she has supposedly 10 developments with her. Maybe she could also lend some firepower towards what you're doing.
I am not going to sit down with someone that is all about money.
So okay, but then you need to get the 3Gs. Then you need to contact other community organizations.
I already did
You're already
that.
with You're already with Carver Houses. You said you're with another group as well. What's the other group?
With 700
Strong?
Dems and 700.
Oh, 700 Dems.
and Strong.
Do you know
Yeah,
700 Strong?
Yes, I do know them.
Oh, are they affiliated with 700 Dems?
Kelmy Rodriguez.
Well,
is
they're
the
pretty
president of
strong
700.
group right there. Hold up a
I know.
second. Yeah, so if they know you, then I think you have a real good shot. Wait a minute. So why don't you try it? I know about those guys.
I know.
Yeah.
I know them too. I crept the whip with them on sometimes.
That's cool. All right.
It's my thing is this. Once I get it, which I know that I have to curve a lot of things when I get into the political arena because I can smell bullshit a mile away.
Okay.
And I don't like to deal with people that they're going to say they're for the people and they're not. And they're using it just to get their political things back and forth. Like, we already know that they're trying to take the projects. Well, first of all, let's go all the way back. The projects wasn't for us. The projects was meant, like Social Security and public assistance wasn't made for us. It was made for World War I and World War II vets, their families, immigrants from Italians and Jews and stuff like that, the hospitals and the Ys for that. So they figure, okay, we got tired of living in housing, let's give it to the minorities or whatever so they can live in the projects. Actually, the projects were co-ops for them back then, until a family, a husband and wife, which was biracial couple, they decided to sue HUD in 1963, which they did a book called The Color of Law, which just shows you how, if back then I'm white and Sin is black, and I'm cool with Sin, I don't care about color, but I say, listen, Sin, I really don't want to be here no more. I'll sell you the house for $9,000. But then HOA at that time would be like, no. No, she's not white. You can't sell it to her. So that would be a discrimination act. So in 1968, they did a discrimination act. So they sued HUD, and then from then on, and it came to be a whole big phonetic kind of worms, which they started letting people come into the projects in the 1950s. And then you got people that were supposed to only live.
So are you saying that that's the plan now? Because I'm very interested in
They
what
want
we're
it back.
doing now. So you're saying that the way to get the apartments back, you're saying one way is you're using, actually you should use a multi-tier approach. So one way you said that you're doing is you're using the grandfather way. Another way that you said that is you just said there's a possible lawsuit for discrimination. as in terms of the ability to buy the property. That's a second way. So actually, I also have a multi-tiered approach as well. So I appreciate that. So sometimes that's where you have like weird allies like Carmen. I mean, actually, I have a lot of respect for what she's achieved, for where she's in the game. But I understand your critique of her, and I think that we need a voice of dissent as well, right? But you know, I am interested in winning, and we are badly outnumbered, outgunned. The thing is that I actually, just so you know, I was the top guy in the Yang gang. Yang refused to work on this, refused to listen to me about this topic, so I was protesting him at National Action Network. Al Sharpton clipped me from the Instagram footage, even though I'm one of the top Asian guys protesting Andrew Yang at his event. You'd think that would be newsworthy. They actually deaded that because there's so much money in the game, as in terms of the developers, right? If you think about it, each apartment's going to go up by about $500,000. Easy. Easy. Each person in an apartment, the value of that apartment is going to go up once it goes from public to private, if it does, which is one possibility. The rad thing, right? I know that's controversial, but each apartment will go up by $500,000 easy, right?
But it will. It's just like Far Rockaway. When I was living there, there was doing construction. The construction there on each development was outpouring almost 6 years, and by the time I moved out, I went back the following year. This doesn't look like NYCHA. This looked like some old upscaled. I mean, it's scary to the point because I see what they're doing. As long as they can bring the property, the property up to value, they can get rid of minorities. That's bottom line. And that we're not going to be able to afford anything.
Just so you know, I've been an activist for over 25 years, and back during the Obama era, we were told, right, because that's when this rad thing got implemented, we were told the second fight would have to occur, and that fight is supposed to be happening now, which is not. We were told that that this was a reinvestment in the people who are living in those properties. It's okay for people to move in the community. It's not okay for them to replace us. So we were reinvesting back in the minority community, back in the poverty community as well, right? It wasn't just about race. It was about class as well. We were helping reinvest in them. Now, I understand that it ends public housing as we know it, but by investing into the community itself. So that was the reason why. So I get where the rad is actually like fight for NYCHA. You know, Lewis, like he hates my guts, right? But I still love him to death, right? Like I still understand his point in this, that we must protect public housing. But I want the people who are living in public housing now to have an ability to really have this life-changing opportunity to root themselves in the community. I mean, are you in public housing now?
I don't live in public housing.
Okay. I mean,
I advocate, and it's sad that a lot of people that do live in housing don't advocate for housing.
Think about it, right? The public housing, the thing is that it seems like they're getting a lot with this $500,000 going up, but it's really not that much, to tell you the truth. It's just they're getting it instead of Amazon this time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then we sat down, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks back, we did a thing with Chuck Schumer, with Richie Torres. We were out there in one of the developments in the Bronx, how they got $40 billion, and then we asked for another $40 billion, and I think they're in the process of getting that.
Are you with One NYCHA? One NYCHA works with you guys, right?
Yeah. Sandra, that's my girl. I'm
supposed to be on that. I'm supposed to be on that show, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
We look at the last 2-3 podcasts that we were on.
Do you have earlier you mentioned Tennessee? Earlier you mentioned Tennessee. Do you have any connections in any other cities?
Well, I have people that I know in Tennessee. I have people that in Jersey. I have a friend of mine that lives in Utah. So I'm trying to I have my surrogate daughter that lives in Cali. I have family that lives in Florida, so Virginia.
So right now I'm trying to organize a national symposium on this issue, because remember, this is rad, this is federal. And the thing is that no one's coming to save us. New York City has 8.5 million people. LA has 4 and Chicago has 2. We're bigger than 2 and 3 combined. People are looking for us to leadership on this issue, but our apartments are worth the most, so we have the most suppression. But nobody's coming to save us. They're looking to us for leadership. We have to drive.
But if I was to get individuals that give us a call on that, then we can make this as a much bigger thing than ever. And if we have to be the first ones as community activists is to really go full throttle with it and try to get stuff done. I don't think that shouldn't be a problem.
You know, I
Me,
did
I'm
some.
more
Yeah.
like this.
You know.
I'm
Yeah.
like this. I'm not a bullshitter. I keep it gangster and I let everybody know what it is. Bottom line. I'm loose with the mouth. I say what I say and I mean what I mean. I really don't care. But in all aspect, when it needs to be business, then I could be business. When it needs to be hood status, I could be hood status. When I need to dig up stuff, I can dig up stuff and blow politicians out the water if I find stuff about you that's not correct. But in my area, from 96th Street to 125th Street between 1st and 5th Avenue, we worth $200 billion. So imagine where else, where they live at, and they find out how much their area is worth. So this is why when you have people coming from Russia, from Italy, and all these other countries coming in and buying buildings and buying lots and stuff, and they're not letting us know that we can buy, like Nipsey Hussle said, God rest his soul, buy the block. Buy your block, invest in your block. I made my mom buy her apartment 23 years ago, which was the TILD program with HPD. She bought it 23 years ago with HPD, which is still called the same thing. They're still the same thing. Say hi, Carter. See, now you can say
That's
hi.
All right. That's all right. What's up, man?
Say hi, Carter. See, and other than I'm a community activist, I'm a mom, I'm an aunt, I'm a sister, I'm everything. So, don't forget to take a bath. So I try to do as many things as possible. But due to the pandemic, I've been on my job 18 years. I'm not working. I've been out of work almost 2 years. And we're doing the food boxes, the community, and we're trying to, help seniors with paperwork and all this other stuff. So we're just trying to get everything together and situated. But like I said, I can't sit down with people that's not going to be about the community or always want to be in the forefront and say, yeah, we could do this. And then behind the doors going, no, we're not going to have no time for that. I cannot associate personally with people that is not about the community. If you never was born and raised here, or you don't know what the poverty stricken is, you don't know what people is, due to the pandemic, everything shut everything down. So a lot of people are depressed, stressed, doing side hustles, making their own businesses now and everything. We just trying to live day by day with everything that's going on. But you have politicians that really do care of their constituents in their states, and then you just have politicians that's like, yeah, whatever, you're on the back burner kind of thing. I'll think about putting that on the calendar, and so I try to teach people about earmarks. So when I vote for somebody, I have to look up their earmarks and see what they put. And they go, I know about earmarks. Mm-hmm. You just said no to this bill about education or whatever and all that, and there's a barter system. They're like, what's the earmark? Read up, learn, listen, and go fight. Go to Albany and fight, make complaints, go to mayor's office. If you got 100 people that live in your building and only 50 of them say, all right, let's go, do that petition to fight to get your apartment.
Even the 50 is good enough.
Right. So it's just like, it just take that one light match to go and be with people, their powers, that if one can click, then the other bell will click, then the other link will click, then another link will click. And the more power that we have as a group, then we're unstoppable when everybody does their homework. So it's just like, I really don't trust too many people at that moment in time, because it's just, to me, it's like, whatever. So I gotta, like we said, we gotta pick out, like my mom says, you gotta pick the battles that you want to play with.
I understand.
But it's more a pros and cons thing. Past 96th Street, they get everything they want. Past 96th Street coming uptown, we don't get everything we want.
Well, one of the things is that when you watch like the mainstream news, right? They really don't cover our issues. It's really
at all
for middle class sensibilities, and actually they suppress information that we're talking about, especially these issues that we're talking about right here, which actually is reshaping our communities, right? They're rebuilding the projects. They're building Amazon facilities right next to them. My boy's in the shelter right now. You know what I mean? And he's got a job at Amazon. They're literally like building it like that. You know?
Right there. Yeah.
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 Because
So,
he got a tax break from that.
so the thing is that
But
I actually
yeah.
had I did a police reform event, and I like what you said earlier, right? The thing is that these politicians have never been on welfare. They've never been in public housing. All they
Right.
know is what some manager told them, and that manager didn't tell them the truth, that's for sure. They need to listen to people like us. So the thing is that I had a police reform event, and a lot of these politicians, once again, have never even been a security guard. We actually had former police officers there who were running as candidates, also someone who was an inmate, so we could get that angle as well. And we had the blessings of Serpico, who actually, I don't know if he's famous for doing anti-corruption in the police force. There's a movie about him with Al Pacino. So, look, we're trying to really, bring more, not saying that really got as much attention as it should have, but we're trying to do a similar thing with the housing thing to bring more eyes to it, because honestly, even the election is like less than a month away, and we can see that the politicians here are really doing very little talking about this issue. In fact, people know that Eric Adams pretty much has gone with the side of the developers, and it's just basically supposed to be a done deal. We're supposed to just turn our heads and walk away.
Right.
It ain't.
I don't like him, so I don't care.
It's not even. We still have weeks to go, and the thing is that because unfortunately, mainstream media is not carrying our message. I'm in some progressive media chambers, right? They call it echo chambers and stuff. And, my progressive media chamber, unfortunately, is not really about talking about the issues regarding, public housing, even though supposedly they're for us, right? All they want to talk about is AOC and shit, you know what I mean? It's disgusting and sad. Once again, it's middle-class entertainment for middle-class people, you know what I mean?
At its finest.
Yeah. We need to take...
At its finest.
But the thing is that, right, it's really on us, right? Because the thing is that the TV is providing better entertainment than we are. We have to take it back, but we are always the ones who are the most realist. We are the ones who are really... The corporate shit is boring. They're always rebooting shit. They have no originality. So I like the things they're saying, and the fact is that, the way that you're talking right now is mad real. When I hear someone talk supposedly correct, I hear Dr. Fauci, I want to smack him right in the face, you know what I mean? Stop with the lying. Stop with the fucking lying. You know what I mean? Just be real with it. I appreciate that 100%. So this national project, honestly, there just hasn't been a lot of response because people know that, unfortunately, this issue is not one that's really a hobby. If it was something else, then people might be more concerned about wanting to get involved. But this issue is not being allowed to thrive, which is ridiculous.
No, it's not.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. We have to force it to happen. So one thing that I just did, I don't know if you saw that, I went to Wagner Houses and I hung a huge sign off the building facing the Triborough Bridge. Yeah.
Wow.
That was you?
That was me. Oh, you heard about that? Oh, you heard about that? Occupy Nitro.
Nice.
Yeah. Yo, but Occupy Nitro is affiliated with a bunch of people, but I'm trying to get the word out because we cannot rely on the media to do it.
No.
Yeah.
It's just that it's a lot of people's like, oh no, if we fight against them. Like today, I had a lady that lives in Lakeview, not that far from me, and me just dropping my son off at school, coming back, and we were just talking, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. So she's telling me about how they were supposed to have a 44-year lease, and then all of a sudden a new management came from Canada and they bought the company, they bought the complex, and now it's 17 years. Then they moved up people that had the 4-bedroom apartments, saying they gave them letters in black and white saying, we need to move you out so we could fix the apartments and then you could come back in. No, they moved in all Pakistanians, Pakistanians, Iranians, and all of them, all their nationalities into these apartments.
Actually,
people that so the people
are
that
you guys
living
on Section 8 now? Have you been moved to that Section 8 thing, or is it still public housing?
It's public housing for right now.
Okay.
But they're saying that we're gonna once everything over, they're gonna have Section 8 housing vouchers. They said.
Actually, what you're discussing right now is actually it's a new form of apartheid. It's a new form of community control and steering of certain populations, communities under the guise of helping us. So yeah, I just want to make it very clear what you're talking about, because people just don't really recognize that what you're talking about is clearly apartheid, and it's
Right.
going on right now. I'm sorry, my.
Yeah, right.
So
Everybody got
keep
something
going,
going
keep
on.
going. Yeah, but the people need to know this is that's how serious
The-
this shit is. This
You know,
is
I'm
real.
sympathizing for the people who have the Section 8, who have transferable Section 8, and they're getting simply manipulated into going into housing. And once they give in and sign that paper,
It's a wrap.
you lose that
Okay.
Section 8, and it transforms into housing Section 8, where you can never transfer out. It doesn't even matter at this point. You can lose your job and not have the money to pay the rent next month. You're automatically terminated because there's somebody in line who's willing to pay the rent on time.
But if you want to transfer to move, you have 6 months transportability. That if you go out to another state and look up another housing, they can take you, but it's a subsidy that will go with you, but that state has to carry your bill.
And you know what else is disgusting? So much of this affordable housing, right? It's just the same with the Patriot Act. Nothing patriotic
Which is
about
bullshit.
it. Nothing affordable about it. So many of these
Nothing.
apartments have been like revamped into like a doorman elevator bullshit gym inside the thing. Not really a good gym, it's a bullshit gym inside, so they can overcharge by huge amounts. Plus they putting in shitty low rent freaking fixtures in there. You know what I mean? They think everybody's a sucker. You know what I mean? But
No, you could
yeah.
we could go to a warehouse and buy a whole bunch of tubs and everything and say, well, we paid all this money, but legally we already know who's buying what and how many quantities, and this is how much it costs. So if you're buying 1,500 new tubs, you're going to only pay probably about $5,000 to $10,000 for it, but then you're going to say, no, it was much more than that and all this other crap. Which people are hip to it, but not everybody's hip to it.
Now I have to
It's
admit,
like-
yeah, I'm really worried now because I feel like we're already losing. They're already making moves. They're already like
They
telling
are.
people this is the way things are going to go, and most of the people
Yeah.
are not aware. So we're already fighting like kind of like a losing battle. What is our contingency plan? What is our right? I know people talk about Nydia Velasquez and her potential legislation. If that, we're already on our back foot here.
Well, I was told that I bumped into a reporter, a photographer, and he was also telling me to look up, what did he tell me? Hold on, let me find it because I wrote it down. Okay. He told me that to look up, because I've been looking it up on a computer. He says, look up because I wrote it down. See, I got books all over the place, honey. He says, look up the Bill of Exchange. It's a legal definition of Bill of Exchange if someone wants to buy the apartment, whatever third party, whatever have you. And then he also said to how I use our property exempt taxes. So like, if we want to do this and we're a nonprofit organization, that we can do that. It'll be like a barter system kind of thing. So that's one thing that'll be good about it. And also using the grandfather's law, also the grandfather's clause, also, which has been in the mayor's office since 1903. So that 1903 grandfather's clause, because I spoke to someone in Gail Brewer's office in the board president Manhattan's office, and I had a historian, person that does with the archives, and she looks into all of that, and she gave it to me. And she goes, I think this is what you're looking for.
Hey, quick question for you though. Quick question, yeah. I know about the grandfather law. Actually, it was cool. I was talking about Miss Johnson about that, Emily Johnson. I think she was also talking about that too, which is great. But also, what I know some people, they are still trying to make them sign leases and stuff like that. If people are living there without a lease for a certain amount of time and receiving mail there, what about what's it called? People who are squatters law.
Squatters' rights.
Can they also make a claim that way?
They can, but now they're talking about that the reprimand will be over as the evictions will be start proceeding in the new year. Because I have a friend of mine that works with the mayor's office, and they're like, housing is going to be flooded. It's that people are not working, people can't pay their rent. And mind you, that they gave us, I think about $2 to $4 billion for just to get people and the landlords off the people's back with the rent. So we don't know where that money's coming from. and it's supposed to be an office. It's supposed people be calling, and people have been calling. Nobody's been getting, you know, confirmation about that. No one has been getting notified. So it's kind of like we got this money, but the new governor, I don't like her.
You know what? Unfortunately, right, the cops have been kind of like leaning back a little bit, right, not giving as many tickets and stuff. But we know that when they need the money, unfortunately, they come to our communities and usually come hard at us. It's the end of the month. They are starting to write a little bit more tickets. It is quota season.
Because they got every quota, they have to have a certain amount. I think it's 20 to 25 tickets, or people to the 25, I think it's 20 to 25 is the quota for every quota, first quarter, second quarter, third. If you don't, I think you get written up, from what I was told. They
But
get
I know
written up or something like that.
the
And I
last
was
week
like,
of the month, the last weekend of the month, from my understanding, they get a bonus.
oh,
Whoever gets the most arrests.
wow, that's
Hmm.
new. Well, by the end of the month, if nobody gets their vaccination, there's going to be 10,000 offices out of a job, and then we're going to have to put 10,000 more brand new offices in office, and they post and stuff. So
It's only going to be about 200,000 criminals out in,
out
loose.
of streets, so they're going to be
But I'm not going to get vaccinated.
mandated, but that's no
Been
here nor
mandated.
there.
I'm not in agreement for it. I don't.
You know, there's certain
Everybody's.
though it's so the conversation is so controlled, you know, and the thing is that the if you heard of Andrew Yang kiss the Jews' butts, right?
Of
It's
course.
because right, because the Jews, when the rabbi goes down and says, I want y'all to vote this way, most of them do it. Now there's
Yeah.
600,000 people in public housing alone, not counting affordable housing, not counting the homeless shelters. If those people worked together the way the Jews did, they would be a very almost unstoppable force. And if and they
Hello.
would get those things changed overnight. Those things that we're talking about right now would change immediately.
All day.
Yeah.
All day. You see that the Jews they stick together, you know, and you're like, wait a minute, but what the hell? Like, okay, I don't
So
like you,
the
you don't like me,
the
we
thing
don't
is,
got time for that.
we've learned, right. The community has been taught not to do things for themselves. We taught to be consumers. We've been taught to
Yes.
buy every solution instead of doing things for ourselves. So right now, what they're doing is, I heard one offer was they were going to pay people $27,000 to move out of the projects. But if you
Oh
think
no.
about it, if the value of the apartment is going to go up by $500,000 and you have the right to buy it, you could actually tell someone, right? Yeah, you could tell a developer yourself, you want to make a $500,000, just give me $300,000. You know what I mean? And then you could have this property right here. But for their service, right? Yeah, for their service of moving you out, right? They're charging you $270,000. That's no service at all. You're being robbed the hell out of you. Stop letting them tell you what to do. Stop letting them control you, right? They're saying, oh, well, you're going to have to move. No, I don't think so. According to
No.
this law, this rule right here, right? Grandfather law, squatters law, even the RAB program, whatever you can do, right? Yeah, we own this property. We've been living here. We have the rights to be here. What are you talking about?
But
This,
not only
yeah,
that
this is public property. You're
NYCHA
part of
was
public.
actually, yeah, but NYCHA was actually offering, we found this out. NYCHA was offering $25,000 for the BRUVAP program to the tenant association presidents in all 5 boroughs.
Oh, I'm more than sure.
So, and I know this is a fact because I spoke to 3 people that live in 3 different housing complexes, one in the Lower East Side, 2 in the Lower East Side, 2 in Queens, 1 in Staten Island, and a couple in Manhattan. They live in different housing complexes. And it was like, yeah. And for me to be speechless, hello.
Okay, so I agree with what you're saying. Check it out, right? So the thing is that there's been some places that have had like tenant association, like uh, block watches, right? Some presidents that work, some presidents that were super corrupt and didn't work out, right?
Of
But
course.
the thing that I've seen is that maybe we need some type of external, or maybe some type of more coalition building with like other states or something, or some type of outside review. Because the thing is that what happens the system begins off and everything's working great, right? Maybe a guy's like watching the block for like, maybe even a year. Then one day he doesn't show up. He's sick or something. Then a couple months go by and doesn't show up a couple days. And everybody likes each other. Nobody wants to say anything. Then you know what happens. Then he just stops showing up. Then when it's time to replace his position, people said there's nobody even going there anyways. They just dead the position. And all of a sudden, right, what was created is destroyed. This is a forever war to make sure that the rich people are accountable to people like us who are actually doing the work and who actually know what's going on. They want to say they want to help us, but they don't want to listen to us. That's super fake.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Alf, I'm with you. If we can meet other people in different states, and get in contact with different other states, and I'm down with it. I will talk to the different organizations that I roll with.
I need to get with one NYCHA too. Yeah, one NYCHA.
Right.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm down for anything. But if I'll send her a hit too, letting her know, and I also let her know that I've talked to you and stuff like that. And if we can do that and get in contact with different entities from different other states, and if we get different housing complexes to do a petition and do this and that and this about the RAD program and all this and that, the ones that are already gone, we can't save them.
Yeah,
they already took it. They already did it. So we have to deal with the ones that are now, which is now more than ever, and it's detrimental that we have to now start. We the Mecca. So if we could push it from here, and we can start hitting it from all over and start listening. If you know people in other different states, they're willing to do this. But except for the red states, I'm not too sure you would have too many. We would have a lot of issues from the red states.
We're just trying to get
because they.
The reason why we're doing it to other states is really just to make it like so other people will pay attention. Like, wait, there's a national thing going on. Let me take a look. Because the thing is that unfortunately, right, our message is so suppressed. The news refuses to talk about it. They'd rather talk about some vendor that's like, selling ices on the street before they talk about these issues. They run their little community humanity piece, right, which is just some story about some person, in the role that they are comfortable in that person being in. Not, never in a position of leadership or information. Yeah.
Being that we're running out of time, we shouldn't even be selective on which states, what color.
Whoever's willing to work with us,
each state, it's not just one state that agrees on one thing.
Right.
Another community that I'd like to re-engage is the student community. If you look at the student community, right, all they talk about is, right, they talk about canceling the student debt, but that does nothing to stop the ongoing corruption now or to prevent the students now who are going into debt now. By the way, wait a second, right? How does this tie into public housing? Well, who's the largest landowner in New York City? Do you know? That's NYU. That's NYU.
Oh yeah, NYU. It's between NYU, Columbia,
and who bought the
NYU?
Yep. And who bought the Kips Bay? Who bought the Kips Bay projects? That's gonna be Cornell Pace.
Stuyvesant.
Cornell Pace, right? Why are these are no longer educational institutions, they're financial institutions for profit owned by the same people who own the financial institutions. Let's be real, right? I'm not mad at Jewish people, right? But Jewish people, right? Yeah.
No.
But they're buying through the schools. Why? Because it has anything to do with education? No. Because they're bankrupting our children to buy a financial vehicle to make themselves rich, and so they can do it tax-free. That's how deep the corruption is. So we should get now. What you say, 600,000 people in public housing in New York City. We have the students working with us, fighting against the same corruption, the same bullshit that's destroying their futures and lives, and electoral force there may be strong enough to really command some real attention here. Already just public housing alone is a strong, but with the students, their careers have been destroyed. This is the first generation to make less than their parents. The first generation have a shorter lifespan, and they all got to get a mandatory vaccination. The project is not happy about they making people get the vaccination to get Section 8, right? They forcing people in public housing to get they leaning on y'all. Yeah.
So even Section 8 as well.
Yeah. So if you know any,
they're willing to take public assistance, and
Yeah.
and a lot of other programs that are accessible to us now.
And we have to
They
grab
wouldn't
the we have to
if
gra-
we're not vaccinated, and that's not.
we have to grab these young people and teach them real activism. Right now, the people that they're learning activism from, like their professors, they've never been poor. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about, right? They're learning all. They think that not saying a word, right, yeah, or using using special words is what activism is all about. They have it all messed up. We have to reteach these students what activism is about.
Give us an example of a special word. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, like they're like they have all those, you know. I'm not mad at. I get at people with all those genders and stuff like that, right? But to
Right.
honestly, right, um, when you're living on the low end of stuff, people always have negative perceptions of you anyway. So to a certain extent, you just gotta deal with other people's misconceptions, and they cannot understand you 100%. That's why we need agency. That's why we need a voice, and that's why we need people to participate and hold the system accountable, which is the one thing that they never let us do.
No, they don't. I think that we need to get people that have their own media platforms, and include them in other stuff that we're gonna do. I have a lot of other friends that have their own little shows and lives and stuff, and they have a big fanfare. And maybe we need to just do one big ass Zoom,
We're doing it. We're doing it. Hell yeah.
and we could just keep adding people onto our Zoom meeting and just have a live cast on as it goes like that. Because a couple of people are like, "Yo, Joe, what's good? What's up? What's new?"
I'm announcing it actually real soon because the election's coming up soon, so I'll probably announce it for maybe even, is it Friday? Maybe on Sunday or maybe next weekend, but it's going to happen real soon because the election's happening soon. So I will I'm going to put you guys onto my mailing list. I'm going to shoot out the email. I have about maybe 2,000 people on the email list. Not that they're going to really respond to this one because not a lot of them are in public housing. Once again, this is super odd, but this is a fringe issue right now, and we need to really escalate this to people's to their consciousness.
We got people. I'm telling you, we got people that strike nerves, that are going to talk about what we all talking about right now. Invest in yourself. Buy the block. Stop working for other people. Work for yourself. Stop always like.
Exactly.
And you wanna. All right, you want to put people in office, but put people that's gonna win. Put people that's gonna be something about themselves. Not about. You know what I mean?
Joannie, let me tell you something right now. Yeah. I'm actually working with a group called the People's Party of New York. They're a third party, whatever, right? I know you're in the Dems. That may be a stronger position. I'll be real with you, yeah? But the fact of the matter is that I'm talking to community groups now. I just did something with the disabled. And if you want to run for House of Representatives in 2022, I want you to think about that, you know? We need some real people out here. I think that you speak well, and we need some real advocates out here. I don't know who else is going to run, right? But there's going to be redistricting. So that means nobody's going to be incumbent anymore. Whoever's incumbent in your district, they're going to redraw that district. So it's a small advantage.
They're pushing me. And they're like, Joannie, you the bill. So I'm kind of like.
Every day you're doing lives. Every day you're informing not only your community, but you extend even to the Bronx. And of course, you have friends outside, in different boroughs. And the more informative that you become, and the more educated that we become, I mean, you're doing this and you're not asking anyone for anything in return.
No, I just want everybody to just be educated and informed of what's going on. And let's start these petitions, and let's start doing this shit, and start doing your homework and looking up archives laws that they could be used right now in this point of time.
No.
So it's not like that we can look up these archives and look up all these penal codes and articles in facts what was in the laws and stuff. And people think that not everybody's stupid. Just because nobody went to college and went to grad school and all. I haven't finished college. I dropped out in the 11th grade. I haven't went to college and I'm doing this, but I do an awesome job, and I kick ass in every aspect that I can think of. I know how to read and write. We good. Long as that I know that I can hit a certain place and panel, then we can get stuff done.
Look,
That's
I'm Asian American. we've dominated academics since the 80s, but do you see us in leadership positions? School is a lie. School, right? When people talk about the earnings of college graduates, it's in the toilet. It's the entry level. They make the very lowest. It's not like all of a sudden, right? Yeah. So what is a college degree really worth? And by the way, I've been an employer, and when people come with college degrees, a lot of times their interviews are subpar because they think their degree is going to get them something, but they have no idea, right? I asked them the same question: what do you think makes this business the most money? What do you think costs this business the most money? They have no. They're like look like a train hit them because school never taught them anything about that.
When I was working, I was getting, when I was at work, because I work for a hotel, and I've been there 18 years. So I was making already like 41 an hour.
Yeah.
Without no high school diploma, without no college. And I make money than a person that got their associate's, master's, or bachelor's.
Working on the front lines, you got to see what made the business money, what was causing the real problems, not you know what I mean? That means so much.
The guest pays our bills, but we have to take care of the guest to make sure that the guest is satisfied, that they will keep coming back.
See, you get it, you know what I mean? Yeah.
We can't talk to them disrespectful and have attitudes. You leave your attitudes at the door. When you come into the hotel, you have to act white. You can't act like ghetto fabulous. So I have to go in.
Oh, that's fixed.
Code switch. Well, you know, I keep it.
Then I come
There's
back
no such thing as acting white. Bottom line, because I've seen the better half and I've seen the most ghettoest ass.
Hello, how you doing?
Doesn't matter what race, you know.
Yeah,
no, but as a business actor for a hotel, they want us a certain way.
Yeah.
So I know how to turn that switch
simple.
on.
You use your etiquette.
There you go.
And make sure that your grammar's on point. That's it.
That's it. But I love it because
I know how to flip the script. Yeah.
I learned how to flip it from both angles. So that's what was taught to me, how to be very proficient, how to be very on point, know to speak when you need to speak, but sometimes you.
Well, if you're serving that particular crowd, right? Once again, you had a middle class audience that you were serving, so you know.
But it's just like that. It's just like drugs. If you're doing things and you selling something to somebody, it's a consignment. Politics is like drugs. Let me get $3 billion for a pig farm, and I'll give you $2 billion. I'll sign up for $2 billion for that other stuff that you want.
I'm coming to Carver Houses soon, though. Honestly, we should hang out. Yeah. I'm actually also doing my weed business too.
I will definitely let the president know and the vice president know from Carver Houses LLC Inc. that you wanna come by and hang out and just see, because we don't deal with Carver Houses Tenant Association. We don't deal with them.
Okay.
We're a totally different entity. So people get that confused and no. We're not the association. We're not tenant association. No, we're not. But we
just serve the community.
Right. So what we do is we just try to help people get their apartments fixed. We keep a log of everything that's going on. That's why they don't fix like they used to, because they know they want the properties back.
Yeah, they're fixing the outside. They're fixing the outside, not the insides. Notice that, yeah.
Oh, but you did do a live stream on in a young lady's apartment up in Brooklyn, I think, recently. And I remember that
she said she bought her apartment. That one. There's a couple of them. There's another one that said that I was telling people that the repairs are a trap, right?
Right.
So that one. Okay. So yeah, it's like I moved here in 2016, and I remember I took them to court 3 times. I have all my paperwork. They have all my paperwork, but of course, you know, because of the orgy parties in Thrasneck, that went out the door, you know, and they got rid of all the staff that was working here at the time, and then now the ones that are coming, they haven't done anything either. So I've been fixing my own apartment. I invest money on that. I'm working for myself just so I can take care of my apartment. I'm not depending on them, because since 2016, if you still haven't done that one performance, why should I depend on you to put a hinge?
Right.
When I can just go to Home Depot and do it myself. Right. But I gave them back their fridge. I gave them back their stove. My neighbor passed away, And while the body was being strolled off of the apartment, they were bringing the fridge, his fridge, to my apartment.
Yeah.
Right behind him.
Mm-mm.
And I said, did he really have to die in order for you to supply me with a fridge? So I said, you know what? I just don't want nothing. I bought my own stuff. I'm done.
Right.
I said, here's your cabinet. Here's your sink. When I moved here, there was no outlets in the bathroom. There is no medicine cabinets, nothing.
Right. That's crazy.
I still have huge holes over the kitchen cabinet that I still have to manage to fix myself, but I have a contractor coming in, you know, and you're asking me for rent. I get it. Nobody's supposed to live rent free, but I'm not supposed to give you rent if you're not doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, they're actually consistently rated the worst landlord in New York City. They're actually they violate a lot of their own codes. No, just NH in general.
Oh, I thought it was because they were really busy. They were really busy out here. So.
Yeah. I just got a text from it's saying Andrew Cuomo's facing charges are fabricated, touching ongoing investigation and sexual harassment allegations against him. However, the reports that the criminal summons against him were issued in error.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that is pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday. I was like, you know, how simple.
Jump off the topic because I met his father, a great person, and I met him personally. So
I still want to marry him.
I love it. I love him. Regardless, he shut his state down. He did what he had to do. My man. And a lot of people into facts, that a lot of people, there's a lot of political people, they didn't want him to go. They did not want him to go.
Andrew Cuomo?
Yep. A lot of people in power did not want him to be moved.
Well,
and they all did that it was a political thing against him, but I can't stand the governor now. She's a pain in the ass. I can't.
We'll see what happens. That hasn't been written yet, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm seeing it right now. It's saying Andrew Cuomo to be arrested next week on formal charges, but then it says issues, and it just says that against him with it says Focus Local Sheriff's Department filed charges of A-class misdemeanor against Cuomo. But then it says here, however, the reports that criminal summons against him is issued in error. So which one is it? I can't.
We're still focusing on getting rid of the bozo.
Yeah, right. Cuomo still is connected. He's still connected. He still has. Someone made a move on him, but he was able to survive the attempt. Yeah, he stopped it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I said I don't care.
They usually protect each other too, right? Yeah, all the people in power, right? They know that when they leave, right? If they set a precedent where you get back at your old guys, then they could get got. So they wash each other's hands.
You eat one, and you just can't stop. So I'm sorry, I'm chewing on that.
You didn't even send me none, but that's okay. Whatever.
Yeah. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I do think that I have another person waiting. We're getting towards the end of the time, but it was really nice to meet you, and I do plan on doing further work in this.
Yes, well, it's great. Definitely. Yeah. She will give you my phone number.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready to go and do a walk, I'll definitely let her know as soon as I get off with you. And maybe that I'll let one night also, I'll let her know that you're interested.
We have a very similar understanding of the situation, which is good. Yeah, that's excellent.
Which is, I think that if we can get other different people from other states to come in on this one ASAP, I think that there's a chance that we could do it. And if whoever's looking at your live, whoever's looking at your live, listen, if you live in another state, hit them up. Don't be afraid. Get a petition with names on it, and if you're going through the same thing that we're going through in New York, hit them up. We got organized.
Yeah, I can make that. One of the things is that when some people are going door to door telling people about this situation, but the thing is that a lot of people are just tuning them out, and they're not doing a very great job of explaining it. And there's a lot of fake people out there providing like false information. So, but we could get 5,000 postcards made for about, I think maybe $150. And I'm thinking about just doing that and just handing them and just going to the projects and just distributing them like crazy, yeah, just like those politicians do. Yeah.
But I have enough funds here
would let my peoples know.
Yeah.
And then I would definitely contact One Night for you also.
Yeah.
And she can get in contact with you. Just give Sin your phone number and stuff. And then we can maybe the next time we have a bigger Zoom and we can do our thing.
That sounds wonderful.
Definitely
Yo,
a
thanks.
pleasure, though.
Thanks so much for
Definitely.
making this happen, Sim. Yo, I really appreciate that. That was
You're
amazing.
welcome.
So few people
I
get
kept
back.
bragging about you to her and bragging to her about, you know, like back and forth.
Back
And
and
I'm
forth.
like,
Because I'm funny.
guys
I'm also funny. I'm also funny.
Yeah, when we hang out in person, we're gonna have a good time. Yeah.
Oh, I'm Latina, Wendy. Trust me.
Oh, yeah?
Don't get mad if we get stopped by everybody that I know in the street, because my kids hate that.
Don't worry about
okay,
it.
well,
Don't
I
worry
get
about it.
included in, you know.
You can.
Don't
We
worry
can
about
run
it.
around and chill out, and we can eat some we can eat some cuchi fritos, and and chill out. And just
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
We going there. Oh, that's some calling right there. I got that next
All
meeting.
right.
So I'm gonna see y'all.
It's a dark day in our nation when high-level authorities will seek to use every method to silence dissent. The truth must be told.
And if you want the truth, you need to check out independent media producers just like myself, DJ L7. You should subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications when I release a new video.
Truth of these
We are
words
on all
is
the major
beyond
platforms.
doubt.
That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course YouTube. Unfortunately, we have definitely seen that these mainstream outlets will cave to corporate interests, so we encourage you to join our independently moderated communities of Reddit and Discord. We also encourage you to subscribe to us on BitChute and Daily Motion so you can see the content that YouTube doesn't want us to let you see. Hey, now it's time for the most important part of the video. That's right. It's time for us to tell you about the Taking Action Group. Do you need an activist? Or maybe there's no activists around willing to help you with your cause and you need to learn to become an activist. That's exactly why we're here. Every week we get up with people from across the nation, in fact even sometimes internationally, and we develop strategies and a game plan to address the issues that are affecting all of us. Every week myself from New York City and of course my co-host Lisa from Los Angeles provide a coast-to-coast perspective on what's going on in the country. If you want to donate to help out with expenses, travel, equipment, stuff like that, then I definitely appreciate it, and you can hit us off at Venmo or PayPal. Thanks a lot. Hey, by the way, we also have a merch store, so check it out. Oh my goodness, it seems like you've reached the end of the video, so make sure you check out some of our other videos, make sure you subscribe. This is your last chance to do so thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment below if you have any questions or issues you'd like me to address. And if you're an activist, the time to make things happen is now.